What's going on, Junkie Nation? Gorgeous George and Goes are back with another MMA superstar. This time we get to talk to Loopy Godinez, a UFC strawweight who will be competing this Saturday at the UFC Fight Night card in San Diego, California. Her opponent will be Angela Hill, who lives in San Diego. So Loopy, you will be the away team. You know, you're on the road here.
Yeah, and I'm super excited. I've been always when I started my pro career, I've been always going to other people's home, so I'm familiar with this. And also, I mean, not really because there is so many Latin people here, so many Mexicans here that I'm sure I'm gonna have a lot of people, cheering for me.
Yeah, that's true. You can definitely make new fans that way.
Yeah.
And so I can tell it looks like you're already in America's finest city. You're in San Diego already, so that's a good thing. I guess you just like to get there early. Usually, travel days on Tuesday.
Yeah, travel is on Tuesday, but since I took the fight in such a short notice, and I had to do so many medicals and stuff, so it's just easier to come here and get them done here. So that's finished. So now I've just been like, training a little bit and just staying sharp, and my weight is fine. So just ready. I'm just waiting for Saturday.
How long have you lived in Canada and been out of, I guess, Mexico?
Yeah, I've been out there for 12 years now. Yeah.
Okay. And so does the Mexican media still cover you the way they would cover Yair and Brandon? Like they feel like you're still one of them, or have you kind of fallen off the radar by not living in Mexico the past decade?
No, I think they do put attention to me. I like it. I'm okay with, if they don't put that much attention to me because it's understandable. But I'm still Mexican. I'm Mexican. I love Mexico. I've been going there quite a bit, and I love it there. I'm actually going there in. I'm trying to go there by November for
Mhm.
vacation and maybe get some training there. So that should be exciting.
Okay. And does the Mexican media for combat sports athletes, or maybe you can answer on behalf of other women's sports like soccer or any other sport, are they fair? Do they cover you with as much vigor as they do the male athletes?
I think it's growing. It's
Okay.
getting better, and for all of the female athletes around the world, I think it's growing, and people are still discovering females, MMA.
Yeah. What did you think? Did you see the video of Yair Rodriguez going nuts when Brandon was winning the title about a week ago? A video surfaced and Yair's in the first row, and I mean he's absolutely losing his mind. Did you see it?
Oh, so happy, so excited! Yeah, that's great to see, and it's great to support other Mexicans that it's great.
Right. Yeah. Well, hopefully people will be going nuts for you that way. I love it. You know, Goes and I, we're part Mexican through our father's side, and we've always felt like Mexico just loves their sports athletes, especially their combat sports athletes. So to us, it was kind of normal. But to other people, they're like, oh my God, he's going crazy. Well, yeah, he was, but really, he's just a fan.
Yeah, I think we're very passionate people in all the areas, not just in the sports. And I just feel so fortunate to be part of it.
Yeah. I imagine that you hope to have a lot of those types of fans cheering you on in San Diego and all of your future fights. And I imagine that part of your goal at some point is now that the UFC's taken their show back, you know, aside from the Apex worldwide to different arenas, that they'll eventually head back to Mexico. I imagine that's a dream of yours, but would you want it now, you know, or would you want it as you continue your climb and the fights get bigger?
Yeah, I think I just want to let it happen when it has to happen. I don't like to be like, okay, I would like it here, I would like it here. I think my career is heading into an amazing direction, and I'm not forcing anything. It's just happening. So I'm just gonna let that happen how it's supposed to happen and go from there.
When I looked you up, you were from Aguas Calientes, Mexico.
Yeah.
but I imagine, and correct me if I'm wrong. What's the biggest city that you're near where you would want this to happen? Like Mexico City or Guadalajara, in terms of where it would be the closest to being near your home, where your family and friends could go watch.
Yeah, I will say Mexico City or Guadalajara, one of the two. Also, I got a lot of friends in Guadalajara.
Is Guadalajara? Do they have the altitude that Mexico City has? I think Mexico City is like 7,800 or 10,000 feet.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's not that bad.
Yeah. Does the altitude is that something you prefer, or are you used to it?
No, I'm not used to it, but I will probably have to go early to get used to it. But I fought in Denver, which is also high altitude, and I took my first professional fight short notice in 2 weeks or a week, something like that. And I mean, I was fine. Um, but when I went there last year to train, I got the call for the UFC. I had to go to Denver to do some medicals, but my friend lives there, so I trained there for two weeks, and the altitude really, like, I felt it. I don't know if it was because I was like also cutting weight, but I definitely felt it. So I would like to go early for sure.
So the short notice, something that you brought up, we've heard fighters say different things before. Some fighters say they hate it, and then some fighters said they actually love it because it takes their mind off of some of the things that they would normally be worried about, or people bothering them. It just kind of made things go quicker. How do you feel in short notice fights? Is that something that you enjoy?
Oh yeah, I love it. I've been always taking short fights in my first professional fight, and I'm still doing it because one is an opportunity. Well, if you're ready and you're not hurt and you're ready to go, why not? And I'm always training. I feel capable of fighting every weekend if obviously if I'm healthy. And I love it. So why not just go and do it? And I'm fighting in one of the biggest organizations where they make it so easy for me.
At the end of your last fight, you looked so happy and so moved. Do you feel like you still carry that same momentum, that high that you had that night? Does it still feel like it resonates with you?
No, this is a brand new fight. This is gonna be a brand new fight. This is a brand new girl. This is what happened yesterday is gone. Now we're today, and I have to focus on today, and that's all that matters. Well, I won two in a row or whatever happened, that's gone.
What what got you into the sport, Loopy? Do you remember an event, a fight, or fighter specifically?
Yeah, well, since I was a little kid, I've been always really like kind of hitting kids and biting them and whatever. I've been always a chaos. But I saw Ronda Rousey with Carmouche or with Misha, one of those two fights, like one of the first ones. And then I was like, oh man, I want to do that. And I pretty much just started training, and that's how it happened.
And as a kid, was it just like playing around the neighborhood, or was it actual trouble you were getting into with the law
Oh
as
no,
well?
playing around, like just being a little devil, as a little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, we talked about your fights. You have taken fights on short notice, but it's incredible because this will be your 11th fight, and you just started your pro career in 2018, and then going back to 2016, you had about eight more. Like that's a high pace. Is that what you prefer, or would you like to slow things down now that you've established yourself?
hmm No, I definitely love to be active, love to fight. As I say, I will fight every weekend if I could. But of course, now that we're getting into the top rankings, you gotta get smart, right? And of course, that's not my job. That's my management job, and I think they're doing an amazing job. And the reason why they offer me this fight, like in short notice, we already knew that I was going to fight her in October, but the reason is why now we're doing it is because they know I'm ready. They see me training all the time. I don't do anything else. So why not? Just might as well get it done early.
Hmm. They say in between fights though is where you can grow because you work on plugging the holes, adding new tools. are you able to balance the two? Like still constantly learning and not so focused on weight cuts and game plans?
Oh yeah, well actually every time I fight someone, I'm learning because I'm learning their style, how to beat that style, and adding new techniques, tweaking their techniques, stuff like that. So I'm constantly learning. And also I'm always at the gym. I'm always, I have an amazing coaches. I put so much time into it, so you can see it. So yeah, I don't worry about that. I just worry about showing up at the gym, doing my work, working hard, and go fight.
I'm sure your goal, just like most athletes, is to be a world champion, to be the best. So right now, do you see like a bullseye, a target on Carlos Esparza, or do you care? Do you not care who the champion is? Your focus is more the belt.
Yeah, well, I don't care who the champion is gonna be or who it is because it changes hands all the time. So I'm not gonna focus on someone because that can change drastically. So pretty much what I have to worry is today and who I have in front of me. Make sure I get this job done properly and move forward.
Yesterday, Jamal Hill, who is part of the same management, you guys share the same management,
Hmm.
he got a win, and he's feeling like maybe he might be closer to the title than people think. But he wasn't assertive enough, I guess. And maybe he already knows there's still other fights that need to happen before he gets there. How about you? Do you feel like you could be a world champion like this year? Or are you honest enough to maybe say, no, 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 I still need a little bit more seasoning. Give me a year, 18 months, 2 years. How do you feel about your peak, your athletic prime and where you want to be?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm not in a rush. I mean, if I fight for the title next month or next week, I'll take it. I'll be ready. But as I say, I'm just taking one fight at a time. That's my goal, and I'm gonna get there. But it's just taking the right steps. As I say, if there's opportunity tomorrow, I'll take it. If not, then we keep getting better. It's not. I'm not in a rush.
Mm-hmm. The last question I wanted to ask you was, do you remember Chuck Liddell, former UFC? Yeah. When he would watch fights, you could always see him like, moving around and leaning. He's watching the octagon. He's got a front row seat. So he's like feeling it, right? And I asked him one day, what's going through your head, And then obviously he says, man, I just love watching people fight. But I'm also thinking to myself, oh, I would have hit him with this. I would have hit him with that, And then he used a few bad words too, like, oh, I would have fucked him, whatever. How about you in your mind when you're watching the strawweights? Are you also thinking the same thing? Like, oh, I would have done this. I would have done that. Or what's your mindset when you're watching fights?
Oh yeah, when I want you find some like, oh, she means the takedown. Oh, I would have done this. Oh, I would have done that. But it's so easy to point it and to be sitting in the back and just be, oh, why you don't do it? Why you do that? Once you're in there, it's hard to see everything. And obviously I understand that, and yeah, I get like that, but I'm not the one fighting.
Right. I want to thank you so much for doing the interview here on a Sunday night. I hope you have a safe weight cut and a great fight next Saturday. And congrats on your career. You have 3 in a row as a strawweight. This could possibly be 4. And a lot of people have taken notice of your skills, and you're on the scene. You're on the map. So I expect big things from you from the next couple of years. Maybe even that run at the title that we've been discussing.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Have a good night.